Stand,
That's what's
please.
made the Ryder Cup such an event. It's been so close. This man has played a major part in a number of them in recent years. Well, he won't be holding back on this tee shot.
Expected applause. Doesn't miss many fairways. In the words of the song, straight down the middle again.
This is the 11th tee. He's having a good look, seeing which way the flag is blowing. Check where the wind is, get the right yardage. We're playing 177 today. The pin just up the top of this tee. Let's have a look at the 11th. Played over the desert here. Two bunkers to the right hand side, defending that side of the green. It's a 3-tier green, a very large green. And the pin today's cut on the very back tier. There's just 4 places of flat green in front of it, and 4 places before you go over the back.
Lovely style. He is to say that he's all about power in the one sense, raw power, but style too there from Ernie Els, but just skipping through.
Trying to fly all the way onto that back tier is a very narrow target and very easy to go over the back of the green. Players will be frightened to pitch the ball in the tier. Now, can Colin hit a green in regulation? Starts down that left-hand side, slides it into the fairway.
Well, this is the sort of hole where he'll be looking to pick up a shot, just to put the squeeze back on Fred Couples, who's got away from him now.
Greg will know exactly what else has hit. That will help him in his club selection. And he is a player that could pitch it on that little ledge and stop it.
Black today, Greg Norman. He looks in pretty good nick at the start of the year. He's very keen, I know, Ken, to play in all the majors, which he says at least are on premier golf courses. True tests, all the majors coming up during the year. They really have picked classic courses for them.
Yes, it's nice to get your season off to a flying start. There's Rocker. Of course, played in the Ryder Cup at the Belfry. Unfortunately missed that very vital putt. I think it affected him a little bit last season, so let's hope he comes good again this year.
Well, here are the standings at the moment for the Ryder Cup in September. Seve Ballesteros, he's playing in Manila next week. Bernhard Langer, Lathibel Wisdom, all familiar Ryder Cup names. Ulrich Johansson, Miguel Jimenez and Pierre Fulke have not played Ryder Cup. And on the American side, Lehman would be a new name, Roberts would be a new name, so would Mickelson, so would Glasson. But under the points system in America, where they get triple points for the majors, that could make a significant difference between now and September.
Yes, and they reckon that it's going to take about 350,000 points or pounds to qualify for the European team. There's a long, long way to go yet. Looking a little anxiously at it. It's about as good as you can do if you're going to fly it on that direct line. Playing up the hill a little bit, hard to hold the ball short of the pin when it's so near the front of the green.
So Montgomery at this par 5 hole, taking a 3-wood, 260 yards to go, but a good connection could get him up there.
It's got to be a Sunday best and not quite enough. Just another couple of yards, Colin, and you'd have been on the putting surface.
I've actually seen a number of people hit the apron of the green and then it bounced all the way through because it is quite a hard green.
This is a very flat green. Of course, they're coming in with either very long irons or woods, and always difficult to get them to hold on the pattern surface. But Couples, after another absolute boomer of a drive, he's definitely in range with an iron. You can see the pin there towards the back of the green, plenty of area to land the ball on.
We've said all week that this is, of course, to suit the long hitters, so it's appropriate that Couples and Montgomery and Norman are out in front. .243 yards with a one iron, opening the stance, trying to get a little bit of extra elevation. Not one of his best, just a question of how it's lying. Couples now with a two-stroke lead, a little bit of a cushion. But it does keep the contest very much alive. The door is still open for someone like Greg Norman here, two behind the leader at the moment. Norman, who featured in a press cutting here this week, talking of opening a new golf course in India. There really are terrific golf courses all around the world.
Just to move Norman within one. Go on. Right in the jaws. Norman going along very steadily. 2 birdies and no bogeys.
Tries for a birdie at the 12th to take him to 14. He really has been just hanging on this week, and it's not been inspirational stuff from him. We're getting rather churlish, aren't we, when somebody's 13 under par and we're saying it's not inspirational, but I think he knows he's got a bit more to do.
Yes, we expect a lot from the stars. 12 months ago this fella wasn't much of a star, but now he's a world-class star. Has he done it? I can't believe it, just wanders off to the right as he gets to the hole. A really lovely fellow, Ernie Els.
A young man with the world at his feet. Now back to that 18th green to Costantina Rocca. A nice way to finish the week, wouldn't it? But short.
Yeah, Rocca currently 5 under par for his round. A very satisfying way to start the season.
I always look forward to seeing Ernie Els on the tee, because he really has got a wonderful rhythm, wonderful striker of the golf ball. There were gasps here on Tuesday when he played in a special challenge match and struck the first shot of the season, and it was an absolute gem down the 9th fairway.
He's a man with such big long arms, creates huge leverage. Now Colin. Just dragged it to the left, got the pace just right, an exquisite shot from Montgomery.
Time to see the man from Bergamo. Costantina Rocca finishes a very good week. Certainly better than making polystyrene boxes as he used to do for 8 years. So that's Rocca's round in 67, out in 32, back in 35. Had that eagle at the 3rd. Birdies at the 5th and the 8th and the 10th and the 15th.
Now Price for his part. He's missed 1 or 2 of these this week, very unlike him. This one finds the bottom of the cup.
Leader in the clubhouse, by the way, still South Africa's Wayne Westner. 13 under after a 64 today. Easily the best round of the day. 3 better than Rocker's 67 there. Rocker on 11 under in the clubhouse.
Playing a similar type of shot as he played to the first. Little hands ahead. Trying to make sure he contacts the ball first and not the rough. With the right toe. Seem to catch it a little thin, a little clean. As a result, it skitters on past.
It's one of those that looked very good to start with and then got gradually more and more disappointing.
It's always very difficult playing out of this Bermuda type grass. The 12th, the longest par 4 on the course. The drive line is on the Majlis on the top of the hill, the meeting point, and try and draw it from right to left from there. There's a pond on the right hand side. I saw 3 flamingos this morning, very nice too they looked. The second played up the hill, and the pin towards the front of the green, not in a dissimilar spot to that flag there. Very difficult to fly the ball onto it and get it to stop before the flag.
Yeah, those 3 flamingos probably said, you know, that's Ken Brown out there.
Hit. Trying to get the ball a long way up there because he knows if he gets the ball well up he can hit a short iron to the flag, and of course then he has got a chance of stopping it quickly. Well, is
this to go 18 under, and you certainly wouldn't put it beyond the capabilities of couples. Out in 32. Those birdies at the 2nd and the 3rd and the 9th, and wanting to get off to a flying start to the back 9, but he's giving himself a bit to do. No, come on. Just one nice little roll of the ball into that far away hole, but no, it was always starting left.
As we've seen a few birdie opportunities slip by on the 10th, very difficult to read. Bit of grain on it, some very, very subtle slopes. So Fred lets a birdie opportunity slip by, but still leads by 2.
Not difficult to find the desert out here, is it? 168 yards left for Greg Norman. As you can also see, Ernie Els' ball there, just 5 yards ahead of his own.
The players will be happier to be in this desert area. It's better there than in that Bermuda grass, as long as the ball sits up nicely. It's really just like playing off the fairway. Make sure your feet don't slip you.
Clean as a whistle, that.
Looking sharpy, right?
And the bunk is very good for playing out of like that, and no greater exponent of that sort of shot than Norman. We've seen him do that on 2 or 3 occasions this week.
And there's a look how this 12th hole is played. Only 35 birdies and played 4.17, so over par.
So Ernie Els. I don't think there have been any of the notorious sandfish in there in the bunker. There are some out in the desert here. Also seen the migrating birds flying from Central Asia onto Africa. A bit more sand flying as well as Els makes his contact, as he made as good a finish as normal. Well, he's up there. That's all that matters, really.
That was an excellent shot. He's left himself an uphill birdie chance.
Monty's birdie putt, and this to haul Couples back to within one. He's there, and that's where there was a bit of a roar around the green for Colin Montgomery, the Scot, looking to hold on to his Order of the Merit leadership. And I wonder if they're interested in the golf. So, years ago, there was nothing but camels out here in the desert. Norman's playing well, isn't he?
Colin Montgomery looking over to the 15th green where someone's putting very adjacent to the 11th tee. These fellas always remember the etiquette of the game. Give your partners in the opposition the same opportunity that you've had to play a good shot.
No, please.
Does he like it? Perhaps not particularly. It's up there though, it's almost pin high. Chance of a 2, a certain 3 you would think.
He's got it on that back little ledge. Not many players have managed to do that.
Certainly the right club. So funny, these two have played every round together this week from day one, and Fred Couples was saying they might run out of conversation today.
The players always take the opportunity of teeing their golf balls up on the par 3 hole, something that amateurs occasionally don't. They throw the ball down. If golf gives you an advantage, you should take it.
Very good tip there from Ken Brown. And the parasol up there today. Well, they're almost standing on one another's feet there.
Now Norman for his birdie. Seem to stand over that one a little bit longer than normal rather. Plays for the green to go right, but it goes left. And the green is very tricky. There's not much of it, but just enough to affect the putts.
Too early to say he's running out of holes, but it's not been inspired Greg Norman over the last hour or so. Looks like staying at 15 under, and 2 behind Couples, who should at least get his par at 11, if not a birdie. Well, Houston's had a penalty drop. He's certainly had his problems in the last hours, Retief Goosen. His 4th shot, and what a very, very good one as well. That's terrific stuff from Goosen, former South African amateur champion and Rookie of the Year there in 1991. Second here 2 years ago, and currently 39th in the Order of Merit.
Yes, he's certainly someone to keep your eyes on. Very, very good player. Powerful hitter of the ball.
25 years of age, looking for his first tour win, but he's already earned over £300,000 in his 5th year as a pro.
12th. This is for Norman to save his par. Always goes through that same setup routine. the middle. They all count as one, wriggled in the side door.
There's a little grubber. Any else? Hoping to go 13 under, and I'll just remind you of that leaderboard after this putt, because it really is building up superbly well. Any else? Oh, hanging there. But when you look at that board, it's Couples 17 under, Montgomery 16 under, Norman 15 under, Riley 14 under, Westner and Burns and Hoosen and Price 13, Els 12.
A little bit from right to left. Just to catch Couples. Just slightly over cooked it, and Fred Couples would have been keeping a very beady eye on that one, because he's putting down a very similar line. Players always very careful with how they mark the ball, and they quite often have a lucky marker. If it starts holding putts, they tend to use it for the rest of the week.
So much golf to play. 5 shots between the top 10 players. There you are. Couple 17. Montgomery 1 behind him. Norman 1 behind Montgomery. Riley and Westner. Every putt's becoming increasingly important. That one adrift on the left. The putter, which was quite hot earlier, seems to be blowing a little cooler now. This is going to put out here. So this for par to stay at 17 under, which he does. A ripple of applause around for the American leader of the Dubai Desert Classic. And now all hush around the green. They employ the stewards there, who hold aloft their markers to ask for quiet. And, no more than a whisper around the green as Montgomery holds out, and he remains 1 behind Couples and 1 ahead of Norman. Still the quality of play exceptionally high. Fred Couples with 7 holes left then to hold on and hold off the challenge of Colin Montgomery. Or maybe Greg Norman, who knows? He's got 6 to play and is 2 behind the leader. Burns and Riley both 14 under. Westner, Hoosen and Price 13 under, that's 4 behind Couples. And Michael Campbell with 6 to play, 5 off the lead. Just checking on all those players. Any else 12 under with 6 to play. Now Gimson in with a very good round today. 11 under, Rocker 11 under, Howard Clark 11 under, he's got 2 to play. Pierre Fulco with 6 to play, he's on 11 under. Owen O'Connell, who had 4 birdies in a row at one stage today, 10 under with just 1 to play. And then with all respect to them, maybe calling them the also rounds in the sense that they're not going to win the trophy now. Ames, Langer and Curry all 9 under.
Very, very high standard of play there. 16th position, 9 under par, quite phenomenal.
And here is the Irishman we were just talking about from Killarney, Owen O'Connell. He really hit peak form just before the turn when he parred 5, 6, 7 and 8 with a run of 3, 3, 2, 3. What a dream. But he dropped a shot at the 12th. Picked another up at 13 and not quite the finish he wanted. But still an excellent round by Owen O'Connell. Any else having a little rest. There's how the handsome driver there who's kind of whisk him away. Why not take it easy?
Waiting back there on the 13th tee, not wasting any energy. Early Els choosing to take a seat. Couples with his tee shot at the 12th. He picks his tee up. I heard a thump, but I don't think he's found the fairway. I think he's a little bit down the right side, just in the fringe there. But a good angle to attack the flag from. Yeah, the facts and figures about the 12th. It's been one of the more difficult holes in the week. 4 nasty double bogeys and 35 birdies. And someone's got an eagle.
Montgomery would like an eagle right now to get himself back to the top of that leaderboard. Well, looks to be sitting up reasonably.
Yes, that's not a bad spot. Wayne Riley having a few practice swings. Now this is second shot of the par 5. 13th, and it's well in range, and he's sneaking up there.
A lovely shot that is. As the ball is dispatched high over the sand onto the green. Perfect play from Wayne Riley. He won that Australian Open at Royal Melbourne. He's been struggling for a win in Europe. He says once he gets that, he wants to play in America. And he started back with 3 birdies at the 10th, the 11th and the 12th. In fact, 5 birdies today, 2 bogeys. Out in 35, Riley today. And he's put himself right up there for major money.
Yeah, no wonder he's smiling and striding out. He's got an eagle opportunity there. And that, of course, moving to 16 under. Now back on the tee. Nicky Price. Just got to decide just how much he's going to cut off this dog leg. And that's a peach. Better than that, absolutely perfect, and it's a long way. Lovely tee shot from Price. Knew it as soon as he's hit it, he was in the perfect spot.
He really is chasing up behind Riley, isn't he?
Very attractive second shot, very inviting. You can see all the problems right there in front of you. Something that a golf course designer is always keen to do.
Well, they're queuing up on the 13th tee, and here is the world number 2. Sitting alongside Ernie Els. Good to see that they can have a chat. It's a fun game, isn't it? Don't let's get too serious. You think he's going to take off, do you, in that buggy car?
Nice to see 2 giants of the game enjoying themselves and smiling with each other.
Here's another giant. Was it sitting up sufficiently for him to get a good contact? All the way up with this 4-iron to the green. In fact, it's scuttled through. He got into somebody's lunchbox.
Certainly somebody will have stopped it in the crowd. He's saying a real flyer. Comes out dipping with topspin like a topspin tennis shot. And certainly hit the ground with a lot of run on it.
Couples second to the same green. The leader of the Dubai Desert Classic by 1 shot. It's a tournament that could well go all the way to the last green, this one. He's not happy. Well, why not? Why not? Well, I said he wasn't happy. It was me. He was ready. He said something. He looks a bit mystified himself by that.
Well, it was David Guilford who got the eagle on this hole earlier on, and there was nearly another one. Coming down, it's sliding from left to right. There's a little bit of check on the second bounce, like a snooker shot. Just sliding past that left edge, but a glorious iron shot from Fred Couples.
Ian O'Connell, just there 10 under. Simple tap in for him, and so a round of 69 today for the young man from Killarney. Had those 4 birdies on the front 9, just 1 on the way back.
Now Campbell on the 13th. Very little green to work with. Has done pretty well. He's 1 under for his round and 12 under for the tournament. He birdied the last hole.
We've seen Hooson finding the problems over the last hour in there amongst the scrub. That's where he would find the old sand flies.
Just checking the wind, and those humps of grass are supposed to be called camel grass, like a tumbleweed. It's like going into a gorse bush.
Well, he's recovered well at a number of holes this morning. Gets himself out of trouble well, so gets himself back into trouble this time.
Yes, Hooson seems to be spending a lot of time in the desert. Now Campbell. This for his birdie. This to move to 13 under. Bolts it in. A confident stroke from a confident young man.
Who started the day 11 under after that terrific 65 yesterday. He was in the New Zealand team which won the Eisenhower Trophy. We have Antipodeans, Wayne Riley. The putter's been working supremely well in the last few minutes, but 3 birdies in a row. Well, that was recorded a few moments ago. He did tap in.
Montgomery's ball's finished somewhere he doesn't like. They're sort of waiting around for a ruling. Not quite sure where yet. Maybe it's on someone's handbag or picnic bag.
Birdie for Riley, by the way, is 4th in a row. He's 15 under. He's right up there, isn't he? We're 2 behind Couples, 1 behind Montgomery, and hoping for a repeat of that Australian Open victory in Melbourne 4 years ago. You can't discount anybody on that leaderboard at the moment. Couples, Montgomery, Riley, Norman. The big boys all battling away on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Montgomery waiting for a rules official. Very important to maintain your concentration. No problems though, because there's a big weight on the 13th tee, so he might as well wait there. And here we are on the 13th, 197 yards, colossal drive. Now he knows he's got to get a birdie out of this hole. He's going to be a winner in this event. That's a perfect iron shot.
Well, in a sense, there's no pressure at all out there on Price. Everybody seems to be following the front 2 Couples. Well, I said somebody's lunchbox, didn't I? And it looks like somebody's handbag.
Yes, he had a couple of Coca-Colas and a few sandwiches in there and a bag of crisps. Colin Montgomery's ball.
We thought it was a hard-boiled egg. Who's splashing out. It's a shame for him, but what promised to be a great day, it's just gone away from him a little.
Els found a spot of bother off this tee yesterday. He's going with a 3-wood today because he doesn't want to run through the fairway.
You see this oasis in the desert. It really is remarkable when you drive away from the Dubai city centre and come upon all the greenery. Well, if you've noticed throughout the week, these aluminium ingots on the tees, 20 kilograms in weight, and the sponsors of the tournament make 6 million of those every year.
And Norman 2 going with a 3-wood. I'm going to try and follow Els' perfect example. Just trickles back onto the fairway, so important. Gain that extra bit of control, and they are in the perfect positions.
A third shot then for Monty. Another critical one for him after the ruling he's had. He has to go close, a few oohs, a few ahs, a few well dones, and that's why. Super stuff from the European number 1.
Well, Freddie has got this one to increase his lead to 2 strokes. It's going to move very slightly from right to left.
That's the one. That's the one, all right. Couples goes 2 clear. What a colourful scene it is, provided by the crowd.
Stand still, please. Just stand now, please. Stand still.
Houston. So this to save his par and to stay at 13 under. Well done. Very well done after the trials and tribulations he's come through. All about saving pars.
There's a close-up of a rather nice white golf ball. Montgomery parred the 12th. Very well done to get down in 2 from there. Now Fulker, he'd be very keen to get down in 2 from here, or perhaps go 1 better. Move to 12 under. A lovely effort, but it's just a par 5 for Fulker, and he really needed to make a birdie there.
But he's had a good week again, Ken. He's going to move even further up that order of merits, in which he's 23rd at present. Turned professional when he was 18, but he's really beginning to get his game together.
Well, Fulker, a star of the future, and I think this man too. Houston on the short 15th, he's a 13 under par. Trying to work the ball in from right to left. He's done it perfectly, he's just got 1 club too many.
Eagle chance for Price. It's a birdie. It's 1 for him, 1 back for Nick Price, and he's looking and staring. It's not going to drop for him though, is it? And in a way it's symptomatic of his fortunes this week.
Moves him to 14 under. Just had no luck on the greens. He's playing superb golf. Just not quite 100% sharp so early in the season.
Well, not much golf left now in this 6th Dubai Desert Classic, an event that's been won by Mark James, Eamon Darcy, Severiano Ballesteros, Wayne Westner, who's played so well here this week, Ernie Els, and I wonder who next.
Stalker just holding out, that's why Ernie's waiting. He makes his par and remains at 11 under for the tournament.
Now Els can play. He's 6 behind the leader though, Ernie Els now, and might just be sensing that he's not going to be able to retain his crown. Still, while there's a smattering of hope, he's got to keep pegging away.
232 yards for Els and a 2-iron. Well, it certainly started on line.
It really went into orbit, didn't it? And again, the power of the young man there for all to see. Just sliding away off the putting surface, but it's still a very flat. He can use his putter from there if he wants, like David Guilford does.
Yes, it's certainly an area that they would consider using the old Texas wedge. 207 yards for Norman.
Fires it in at the pin. Well, needed a bit more muscle.
Yes, and he'd be very disappointed with that. Just carried a couple more yards, it would have been very adjacent to the flag. As we move down to the 14th. And Wayne Riley, currently at 15 under par. And this to move to 16. They call him Radar Riley.
Only 16 players left out on the course. And Wayne Riley, one of the key figures at the moment. He's only 3 behind Fred Couples, and that putter's been a real wand today. And again, maybe, and again. Oh, not quite.
And that would have been 5 birdies in a row for Riley. So he remains at 15 under with 4 holes to go.
In fact, it would have been his 7th of the day. Couples, top players have all been saying it is the sort of course where you can shoot a terrific scorers. Ernie Els found out last year with that 61. That's topped almost dead, didn't it? But perfect position for Freddie Couples. And that was long.
Very high as well, he got the ball to stop quickly. Fred keeping well out of the way of Colin Montgomery. You can see the tee very near to the cart path. Montgomery going with his driver, just manages to stay on the shortish fringe.
Longest hole on the course by a mere 1 yard. Longer than the 10th. It's a long haul into the unknown, that one. I think the amateurs all gasp though when they see tee shots as good as that. It's Couples 18 under, it's Montgomery 16 under with 6 to play. So the overnight leaders are still up at the top of the leaderboard, but Wayne Riley's pushing hard with 4 to go. He's 15 under, so is Greg Norman with 6 to play.
And Norman playing a similar shot to Couples on the 10th, chopping down on the back of it. This time he catches a bit of grass, very difficult. I think Greg Norman's going to be a bit cross.
Almost a lapse in concentration. It looks a very lazy swing, that one. Sure it wasn't, but not amused. Michael Campbell, another birdie chance to go 14 under. And, what an astonishing day. So that's about the 3rd time we've seen a putt wriggle in the right-hand door.
And that puts him 3 under for today's round and 14 under for the tournament. And he's birdied the last 3 holes, so he's on a bit of a roll.
It's a 2-day roll, isn't it? 65 yesterday. And heading for a tremendous score again today. Els, the defending champion, as we predicted, taking a putter from off the surface, just off. And missed by about 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
And what a season it was last year. He finished 10th on the European Tour with £310,000, and on top of that 19th on the US Tour, so played very well on both circuits.
I think one of the beauties of golf is there are so many players capable of winning a tournament. Even somebody who's missed the cut here this week could go to the Philippines next week and win there. This is Price's 2nd to the 14th. Great shot.
Just sneaking it round the corner of that bunker. Now Campbell, par 3 15th, 178 yards today. Pin on the back left and a narrow portion of the green, trying to work the ball in from right to left.
And he'll have that putt to go 4 under for the day, and that's a birdie chances all the way in. The front 9 actually played with more difficulty than the back 9 over the first 3 days. So we all said it was going to be a terrific championship, and it's hotting up this afternoon. Couples though leads by 2 from Montgomery, by 3 from Riley and Norman, who is here with this birdie chance to go to the 16 under mark and into joint 2nd place with Colin Montgomery. Is it coming in? That's not quite, I'm afraid. 2 feet back for Norman, who won't bother marking. He'll tap in for another par for Greg Norman. But a disappointment was that little flip shot up to the green.
Yes, it was never easy. Slight misjudgment with the club on the 2nd shot. Then he's only come away with a 5 on a hole that he was definitely looking to pick a birdie up on. Back down the fairway though, Fred Couples in the perfect position. You can see there. Lovely shot from behind the ball. He's just standing slightly above the ball. He's got 236 yards down the hill, and what breeze there is, and there isn't much of it, is helping.
Just by any chance he could get an eagle here, might open up a big advantage.
A 2-iron. He'll be happy to put this right in the centre of the green.
Stop, 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 he says. Well, it's going to obey him just about, so it'll be a long distance chance of an eagle, but who knows? And a very good chance of a birdie.
Yes, with a 2-shot lead, he can just start playing the percentage shots. What else on the 14th? There's a tree just to the left of this tee that was the only one on the course when it was being constructed back in 1987.
Bells always goes for the big tee shot. Why not? Just worth reminding everybody that should it happen, a playoff would take place over 17th and 18th holes today. And you wouldn't bet against it.
Greg's on the attack.
Sort of a buccaneering round from Retief Hussain, and is still producing some exemplary golf. He started with a birdie today, had a birdie again at the 3rd, then bogeyed the 5th, birdied the 7th, bogeyed the 8th, birdied the 9th, birdied the 10th, bogeyed 12. So really helter-skelter sort of stuff from Retief Hussain. This is Nicky Price. Pretty sharp does this one. Well, now it's all coming good. Why wasn't it doing that earlier?
That moves him to 15 under and just 3 behind. And there's 4 holes to be played, of which 3 are really very much birdie opportunities.
It's the first smile I think I've seen from Nick Price for a couple of days. 3 behind couples. Don't rule him out. And rule this man out at your peril as well with his second shot at the 13th.
On the beach, trying to get it a little too close. He walked after it as if he thought it was perfect. Now Wayne Riley to move to 16 under. Well done. 2 at the 15th.
He's motoring. Extraordinary stuff from Riley on the back 9. Birdie, 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 birdie. Par birdie. 5 in 6. Ooh. Could it be his year?
Very interesting to see what type of shot Montgomery plays here, because he's got a little tier to go up. He's either got to pitch it just short of it and run it up, or try and fly it to the top and get the ball to stop.
Big backlift. He's still got something to do to manoeuvre a good score from this hole. He's hoping for a birdie, but he's a bit to do.
Yes, I think he would have liked to try and run the ball up the tier, but he was a bit too near to the face of the trap, so had to pop it up in the air. The ball stopped rather quicker than he would have liked.
The crowd's continuing to come to this Emirates Golf Club course on the outskirts of Dubai. And Freddie Couples here. Well, I did say just before he hit his approach shot that if he could get an eagle, it would really open the door to victory for him. And if he does get this, it'll take him 4 clear with 5 to play. It's a big putt, this one, Ken.
Yes, very, very important one. He has got that 2-stroke cushion, so he doesn't have to be over aggressive. Just not certain. Got to get everything clear in your mind before you play any sort of shot. If in doubt, step away.
going to be a birdie. Well, the drinks may be on Freddie on the flight to Manila.
It's the 5th birdie of the day, no drop strokes. So 5 under par for his round and 19 under for the tournament.
And Els won at 20 under last year. So Couples with 5 to play has a 3-shot advantage over Wayne Riley and Colin Montgomery. Nobody else can see the crown slipping away. 6 behind the leader, and he's got 5 to go. Finds the green though, and you can already see Greg Norman's ball up there. Just not quite happened for him this week, looking for a hat-trick of wins after successes in Jamaica and South Africa. This was Norman's shot to the green.
And a lovely sound off the club face. From 139 yards, leaves himself that 10-footer for him to move to 16 under. This from Montgomery's birdie. Just seemed to bobble there. Is it going to come back? So that has really opened the door for Freddie Couples. He's got a 3-shot lead over this man here and Wayne Riley.
Well, so many of the players thought Montgomery was going to romp the title when he followed his 63 on the second day with 3 consecutive birdies at the start of his 3rd round, but then he just seemed to lose it a little yesterday, fell out of humour, and he's finding it hard to get it back.
Come on. Oh yeah.
Keep drawing. As Caddy's asking. Well, that was a wonderful shot, like a heat-seeking missile right down the flag.
He's left his charge late, but you never know. You never know. 4 behind. This is the man of the moment, Wayne Riley. This astonishing back 9.
This 17th hole, 351 yards. And there's a look at that back 9. 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2.
And never won in Europe, Ken. He was 2nd in the French Open in 1988.
I know he had a spectacular round one year at the PGA at Wentworth. I think I'm right in saying it was 63, so he's capable of some very low rounds. Shot 61 in the Spanish Open a couple of years earlier. But unfortunate there, just needed a bit more carry and it would have kicked to the left and nearer to the flag.
Not the most athletic player on the course. Looks like he might have had a few tinnies over Christmas, but he's not affected his game. The leader, the favourite, 14th tee.
Somewhat surprising going with a driver, but obviously feeling super confident. Just trickles into the right-hand rough. There is a pond down there. Not that much to the right.
Couples who uses the links clubs, but has been watching Colin Montgomery playing with his Callaways and likes the big heads on those, and says that he might get links to do something about those. Greg Norman now needs a birdie, not going to get one. Yet another tap in, and those little 8 to 10 footers have been getting away from Greg Norman today. Still 15 under. And he'll know only too well that Fred Couples just behind him is doing the business.
It's for a 2, the 16th. Sorry, the 15th for Price. It's been a very frustrating week for him on the greens. Three for Price and remains at 15 under.
Another who's going on to Manila next week for the Johnny Walker tournament, and I'm sure they're all looking forward to that in the Philippines. Any else looking to get to 14 under? It's a good distance, good speed. Wrong line. That was a few moments ago, and Els tapped in for his par to stay at 13 under, 6 behind the leader Couples.
Oh, there is Fred's round. 5 birdies, no drop strokes. Can't get any more consistent than that. A 3-time Ryder Cup player. And I fully expect him to make it 4 this year.
Well, he said it might need a 65 or a 66. At the moment he's headed for 67, but it can get better than that. He might be spot on in his prediction. Have you got him in the sweep, Ken?
No, I'm afraid not. Well, Hewson had a go for the green at the 17th. That was his second shot. So he's having his problems. Ricky Roberts and Ernie Els discussing the club. From the tee, where the pin is cut today, there doesn't look like there's any green at all to the left of the flag. But in fact, there's 5 paces. And it really is all set up for the player to move the ball from right to left. A good 6 irons from Els from 177 yards. Beautifully played, right into the heart of the green.
55 and 24.7.
Wayne Riley, and that broom handle putter of his. And he come from left to right, as you can see, but not quite enough for him.
Norman's tee shot at the 15th. Always very meticulous in his setup.
Come on.
Just slightly overdrawn it. Just found that left-hand fringe, and again, a lot depends exactly how it's lying. .45 yards for Couples. Trying to work it in from right to left. Just carries the bunker. Rather surprised he played such an attacking shot there. It was the centre of the green, would have been good. Burns is shot to the 18th. But unfortunately they're spinning away from the hole. But a very creditable beat for Raymond Burns on a week I'm sure he won't forget. Looking a little anxiously after it. Caught another one of those flyers out of the rough, not quite controlling. He knows he's got to try and force a birdie out of the course, but he too has found that nasty tangly Bermuda grass. Little half 9-iron from 117 yards for Couples. For Price, right down the flag.
Well, he'll keep plugging away, won't he, Nick Price? A great competitor, but he's a lot to do if he's going to win this one and wrest it away from Fred Couples, who's 19 under with 5 to play and 3 clear of Wayne Riley and Colin Montgomery. The title just drifting away from these players now. Price and Greg Norman 4 behind at Couples. Retief Hussain 5 behind, but with only 1 hole to play. Michael Campbell also 5 behind with 2 to go. Wayne Westner in the clubhouse after a very good round today. He and Raymond Burns both 13 under. Danny Els also 13 under, defending champion. Only got 4 holes left in which to try and retain his title.
Burns is to finish with a moment of glory. This for a 68. What a terrific week it has been for the young 21-year-old. Being very sensible, not rushing that last putt. Doesn't want to stand on anyone else's line.
Well, that's another lesson for amateurs, perhaps, isn't it, to tend to do that, walk straight up to the ball. And sometimes miss from 18 inches. And we saw Jimenez almost do that earlier this week. And he got rather cross with himself. Houston's been trying to keep his composure on a very in-and-out day. 3 under for the day, but he's had a round dotted with birdies and bogeys. And that's symptomatic of it, isn't it? Into that bit of sand between the trees.
I think he'd have a reasonably clear shot from there. There's a few palm trees in front of him, but they're quite a long way ahead. And as long as it's sitting up all right, he's in a position there to have a go for the flag. He's got about 200 yards
Many
left
of the 30,000 palm trees on the course. This looks good. This looks very good. Fabulous shot from Colin Montgomery. Another couple of revolutions, and it was in the hole, and he'd have been only 2 behind Couples again.
Things just haven't happened for Ernie Els today. Just level par for his round. This for a 2 at the 15th.
Still not happening. Well, you can't win every day.
Now he's won more than his fair share over the last 18 months. And Ernie will certainly win again this season.
Greg Norman. Little chip and run, perfectly executed. A great demeanour he has on the golf course.
This is for Couples' his birdie at 14 and a 4-stroke lead. Just slips by. Can't believe it. There's still a glimmer of hope for the others.
We have a producer who's got money on Couples, he gasps every time when those putts stay out. But, Couples is very much in charge here. He's 3 clear of Wayne Riley and Colin Montgomery, and the holes are running out for the rest of the field. But Wayne Riley will look back on this day as one of his most momentous in Europe, no matter what happens now, I suspect. Just 2 to go. Just hold your nerve. You're in the money.
Yes, he'll be thinking that, and he'll be thinking, I've got a chance to win. You don't get that many chances in your career. And the great golfers are the ones that do take those opportunities.
Well, they do say about the game, don't they, that it's all temperamental, half temper and half mental.
Yeah, this chap's got plenty of both. 103 yards pitching wedge for Riley.
High into the sky, but missing the green. Not one of Riley's better efforts on this back 9, which has been studded with spectacular birdies. A real blitz of them from Wayne Riley.
Yes, it's a birdie opportunity. Certainly frittered a little bit there, but you never know, he might chip in. Finding the rough from the tee, very difficult to control the next one. Now this is for Price, this for a birdie at 16.
He just missed one at 15 after getting one at 14. But as you've said many times, Ken, during the week, on the greens he's found problems as Price. On his first trip ever to Dubai, Norman was here last year and was runner-up. And as he pops this one, it should have been in, and it stays out, I'm afraid. Slipping away for Greg Norman again this year. 14 under, a shot dropped. He's now 5 behind the leader.
Another ticklish one for the world number 1. And he too. There's another one slip. So 2 very cross players, Norman and Price.
Well, they'll be able to compare notes back on Jupiter Island about that. Couples 15th tee. Able to play conservatively now with a 3-shot advantage.
Not sure he knows how. Always seems to go straight for the flag. That's a 6 iron. As they get in the groove on the American Tour of always having to play such aggressive golf. Couples there, leader by 3. Riley and Montgomery. So it looks like if anyone's going to catch him, it's going to be one of those 2. Right, Colin, you need to step in here.
A disappointment for Montgomery if he doesn't win after the situation he found himself in after the second day and his brilliant round of 63, the best of the week. I'm sure he will win in Europe this year.
A shot of just under 200 yards for Hooson. Now, has he made the carry?
Well, I think I heard a gasp of disappointment. And it's all gone wrong for him on the back 9. Hooson was in the water. This is Campbell, showing what a short touch he has around the greens again. Michael Campbell, the Maori from Titahi Bay. Campbell won the St. Louis Open last year, and the Bank Austria Open, and the Audi Quattro Trophy. He won't quite be a winner this week, but in his first event As a professional on the Volvo Tour, he couldn't have asked for a better week.
Wonderful effort. How can Riley do something with this one? Well, he's expecting it to turn a little bit more than that when it landed on the putting surface. So Riley also struggling to save a par.
Norman with 107 yards to go up to the 16th green. Punches the ball high. Safely on.
He was hoping for a bit more. He wasn't over impressed with it. Greg Norman, who loves his cars, got a large collection of cars back home. You name it, Greg's got one.
Fells. 107 yards. Well, you gather he was not impressed with that. A Queen Victoria shot. He was not amused.
Couples is second to the 15th. Delightful shot. They'll probably click, made sure he got the ball first. He should be able to salvage his par from there.
On the verge of success, Fred Couples. Wayne Riley, 3 adrift.
And this a must.
The ball nearly didn't listen. Sneaks in, and they do on good days. Well, he ought to smile. Give us a smile, Wayne. 16 under, 3 behind the leader.
Fourth shot of Hooson there. A very disappointing way to finish. He can save his par. That would keep him at 14 under par. Lovely bright sunlight here in Dubai. Palm trees. The shadows lengthening as the evening goes by.
Montgomery really needs this one to keep himself in the hunt. It's going to be a par for him though. And that margin looks like being the same, but the hole's just slipping away. Ernie Els out in 37 today. He didn't have a good front 9 at all. Uncharacteristically dropping 3 shots. And trying to get it back together again now. Trying very hard too. It would have been his 3rd birdie on the back 9.
Now Riley, he'll be after a big one. He's let it go to the right. He was trying to draw it round the corner. Finds the fairway, but has left himself a long second, but just about in range, I would say.
Well, Colin Montgomery, he did tap in. He got his 3 there just a moment ago, and now it's Fred Couples' turn. He is in pole position for what would be his 16th career victory. You won't get very good odds against it now at the bookies on the course. Safely hold. Another hole gone. 19 under. What lovely reading it is for the leader. 3 to go for Fred Couples, 3 away from that handsome trophy which I saw this morning at the side of the 18th green. And there is the Bedouin style clubhouse, a real family of Bedouin style buildings.
Slow putt this one, up the little hill. Price for a birdie. And in it goes for Nicky Price. Maybe a little bit too late for him. That moves him to 15 under.
But you never know in this game of golf. Somebody can always perish at the 18th. Get into that dastardly water. Here's Norman trying to pull one back. 14 under, this to go 15 under. I thought it was going to be 2 in a row after Price's effort. I think Greg Norman suspects that he's not going to be accepting that trophy from Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
A tee shot of Couples at the 16th. Running out the left-hand fringe and not quite finding the fairway.
Glorious sunny Sunday afternoon in Dubai. So no wonder that so many people want to come and play their golf here. A lot of celebrities from other sports come and play at the Emirates Golf Club. Something again has disturbed Colin Montgomery on the tee. The sort of thing that rattles players, especially when things aren't going quite as they would have liked. Montgomery still jointly tied for second place behind Fred Couples though with Wayne Riley. But he's probably had too many second places for his liking.
Yes, Montgomery hasn't won as often as he ought to have done. He's been very consistent, had a lot of top 10s, but only 7 victories. And I think Riley's laying up. Yes, he certainly is. And that's a perfect position, just left himself a good full pitching wedge.
Very sensible thing to do for a man who's supposed to have the reputation of being a bit of a wild boy, but I know he is trying to change the image.
Yes, he's trying to settle down a bit. Smoking like a chimney there. Greg Norman lacing into the tee shot, which bounds along down the fairway. Past that desert scrub. That's not troubling Norman on this particular hole. And there we have it. The desert in the background stretches for miles and miles and miles. Just goes on and on and on. And then you've got the greenery, you see. The lush rolling fairways of the Emirates Golf Club. Looks as though Campbell is going to try and carry the water. Yes, he kept a very tight left-hand side. It's the shortest way to the green. Cheers from the crowd as he made it.
Ooh, and what a chance of an eagle to finish with. Yes, give us a smile, Michael, why not? What a week. Well, he won't win the first prize of £75,000, but he'll take his share of the pot, which amounts to 450,000. Second would be 50,000. Campbell's got a chance of that. 28,170. That would certainly be the biggest payday of his career as well. Or even 22,500 for finishing fourth. Not bad for a former Australian Rookie of the Year. He's got a huge chance, hasn't he? Another fairway found.
Ooh, just into the fringe.
And lost, yes. Norman then at 17. One more hole to play today, Greg, and then off to Manila into that private jet.
Right down the flag. Norman would have been thinking of only one thing there, trying to put that in the hole. Hope he's going to make a putt somewhere, he says to his caddy. Maybe it's this time.
Monty's second at the 16th. 116 yards left for him. His iron play has been majestic at times this week. And right to the heart of the green. Two-tier green. And as you can see, the players having to shade their eyes against the evening sun. Riley. Where did that go? Well, cannot believe that he's laid up short, Wayne Riley, and now will be a test of his temper.
That's the most awful feeling of all. You've played such a wonderful tournament all week. All you want to do is pitch this on the green and perhaps hold a putt or take a 5. And now, maybe it just cleared it.
Well, let's not rule Riley out of it yet. Couples. Another green. Well, he's playing his way home now. There'll be a real spring in that step if he's walking up the 18th with a 3-shot lead. That's what he's got now over Riley and Montgomery. Now then, why did I go and do that after 72 holes of golf? Played so well all day, especially on the back 9, and then that darn water.
Oh, that's a very interesting spot. They have to get the old local rules on this one. It's plugged straight in the grass by the wall there.
Do you know, golf does produce some astonishing sights, doesn't it? And how on earth do you play that? Does he have to play it? What do you do now? Call for the ruling. Keep your temper. Well, Wayne Riley hasn't always got on with authority, but he's got to get on with the adjudicator now on this one. Anybody else, meanwhile, to go 14 under. They've not been rolling in very often, and the touch hasn't quite been there for Ernie Els. A par it is for the man who on the first day last year scorched round in 61 shots. And anybody who can beat that this year will pick up a Johnny Walker course record prize of £3,000. Nobody's going to do it this week. They'll all be trying again at the Orchard Golf and Country Club in Manila next week. Truly international field there. See Norman's putt, and then Ken Brown will enlighten us on Wayne Riley's predicament. Well, how many times has Greg Norman missed those sort of putts? And that's an ironic smile from the Aussie. Now then, Ken, tell us about it.
Well, this is a very interesting situation. It says, according to the local rule sheet, the margin of the hazard in the front of the 9th and 18th greens is defined by the water side edge of the supporting wall. So he's not in the water hazard, and his ball was plugged. So I've got a feeling this is probably a free drop. So I don't think Wayne can believe his luck.
Well, I thought Thought that might happen.
Miguel Villador, one of the European Tour officials from Spain. Now let's get back to Colin Montgomery. This for a 3 at 16.
Well, it was imperative for Montgomery to hold it, really. You occasionally do get 3-shot swings, as at Turnberry last year, but Montgomery's going to get a par, and now Couples for a birdie, which really might close the door on the rest of the field. To go 20 under and match Els's winning score last year. Not to be. Riley did indeed get a free drop at that 18th. He mustn't take a step back.
Well, this for him to move to 17 under. It's of course for a birdie. He's going to swing a lot from right to left. Come on, Wayne. Oh, what a terrific effort. A couple of deep breaths. And that would have given him just half a chance of perhaps stealing victory from Couples.
News from out on the course that Fred Couples did tap in and stays at 19 under par. Sounds like a winning tally to me, that. Still, Wayne Riley can match his best ever finish in Europe, second in the 1988 French Open. Unless Montgomery overtakes him on the last. Now a Michael Campbell.
Very promising fellow. 3 under par for the round. He's taken his glasses off. Maybe he does that for special important putts.
That was a pretty important one, wasn't it? What a great week. What a great life. Michael Campbell, an eagle 3 at 18, a stunning round of 67 to match his third round, which was a brilliant effort as well. 65, 67, and he got £3,000 for that particular eagle. It's been a very profitable week for the young Maori.
Great shot.
Great shots there. The crowd as Couples just places his tee shot up the 17th fairway, and that's in the perfect spot. Left side gives you a good view of the pin, because just to the right hand side there is the palm trees, which can block your view.
Wayne Riley, well, that is some par. Well, he might salute. Well, what a way to go out. And he's grinning now. He's had his adventures on there, but 35-32, a brilliant back half.
Is Norman on the 18th. Oh my goodness, he certainly gave that one a clout. Right over the corner. Coming back onto the fairway. And that's an enormous tee shot.
Well, that was some match to watch, wasn't it, with Campbell and Riley both round in 67 today, and now 16 under par, the pair of them, just 3 behind Couples, along with Colin Montgomery. So Montgomery and Price, the only ones who can really get past them now. Craig Norman at 14 under. So it's been a big payday for Michael Campbell. Montgomery needs something very special now.
Oh, nice shot.
Just drifts into the light rough. This will be their 18th, which will be Colin and Fred Couples' last hole. Very much a dog leg from right to left. tee is up some 20 yards, so it allows the players to really cut off the corner and try and fly over those trees. This is where Norman's tee shot is finished. There it leads him a second shot, a daunting second shot over the water, and with the pin today cut very tight on that right hand side in a narrow portion of the green. Prudent play would be to play for the centre of the green and putt to the hole. But an eagle here gives a special prize.
Yes, it does. Just to ratify that situation, the £3,000 is to be shared by players scoring an eagle on the 18th today. So at least Master Campbell's got a share of that 3,000. Ernie else on his way home. Perfect. He's not going to collect the trophy this year, but he's going to win many more over the years to come. There it is, that lake and the fountain spurting the water in the air. Perfect backdrop. Well, Fred Couples at 35 years of age, winner of the Buick Open, the World Cup individual title, and the Lincoln Mercury Capulet International last year. Tour earnings of close on $7 million. And a Ryder Cup certainty, I'm sure.
This is currently 13th on the list. Price hasn't been his week, still played some tremendous golf. This is third to the 18th. Oh, beauty too. And he finishes with a moment of glory.
It's a thrilling climax to what has been an exceptional week of golf provided by the Emirates Golf Course. Couples at 17 only has to hold his nerve, and we know he's got plenty of that to win the first prize. Punches it in.
In the perfect spot. Just slightly misjudging it. But it is very much an uphill. It's a fairly slow putt, so he's left himself a relatively easy one. And that's one department of his game that's really been exceptional this week. His long putting, he's laid them all very close to the hole.
Justifying predictions that it would be a big hitter who would win here this week. Montgomery thought he might be the man after the second day 63, but he's 3 behind Couples. Needing to do something truly spectacular, but it's been done before in golf, and that's pretty spectacular. Shows he's still in there pitching.
Yeah, he's still going for victory. You never know.
What a great life it is. And that for Nicky Price. There's a birdie at the last. Nice way to finish with a round of 68 for Nicky Price, following his 66, 69 and 69 in the first 3 rounds. And 5 birdies and 1 bogey on the back 9. We've almost forgotten his young partner from Sweden, Pierre Fulke. He's played solidly all week, but just a little bit shy. And it's going to be a par 5 for Fulke in a round today of 73.
Just not enough birdies in that round. L's going for the 18th. 205 yards. Certainly got the power to get there. Oh, just got snagged up in that Bermuda. A wonderful shot.
Oh, touch of relief. All the nervous mannerisms come out at a time like that. Where is it? Now then, Greg Norman. There's that silhouetted figure again of the husky Queenslander.
Just 192 for Norman. And believe you me, he's thinking about holding this.
You've got a private line to him, Ken. What are the odds? We're all buying you the drinks, Ken, if he does. Terrific shot. Well played. And it's going to be great to hear the reception for Norman as he comes up to the 18th green. But I think we all feel as though this is the man who is going to get the warmest ovation at the end of his day, and at the end of what promises to be an extremely fruitful week. Well, that nearly finished it. But, he really is playing just splendidly consistent golf now. Doesn't need to do anything spectacular, just keep the pars coming.
It's a very good round of golf. 5 birdies thus far, no bogeys, and he's at 19 under for the tournament.
Let's listen to Dubai's reception for the Great White Shark. He'll be coming up to that 18th green very shortly. A good gallery, as you can see, following his match with Ernie Els. Norman, who started the day 13 under, like Els. 64 on the first day. He probably thought he might be the winner. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum awaits, along with Their Highnesses Sheikh Ahmed bin Said Al Maktoum and Sheikh Wuti Al Maktoum as well. And here is the reception for Greg Norman. What a good gallery, and all enjoying their afternoon's golf.
Yes, it has been a delightful week. Perfect weather, terrific competition. The sun has shone, and the course has been absolutely perfect.
No birdie for Montgomery. It's no better than a par for him. But every single putt means money now. And this is the scene at the Emirates Golf Club as play comes towards its climax on the 4th day of what has been a riveting tournament, with the top names all firing on cylinders at the top of the leaderboard all the way through the week. Ernie Els has got this dodgy little approach from that rough at the side of the lake.
This open stance, open club face. Got to keep that club head moving through the grass. Shot, he was hoping it would swing a little bit more than that.
Most people would settle for that. He's so demanding of himself. He was rather hoping to hold it, I'm sure, Ernie Els. Now Montgomery, this little tiddler's got to go in to retain his 16 under par score, which he does. Very much in for the big prize money again, Colin Montgomery, and more valuable points in the order of merit and the Ryder Cup standings.
Well, it was a moment ago, and the leading group have reached the 18th tee. There's a couple's results, 5 and 2 4s. Just making sure, gathering himself together. Just one more good crack down the centre of the fairway. And I think the tournament is his. We know why we call him Boom Boom. Just trying to be a little bit cagey from the tee. Doesn't want to get tangled up in those left-hand trees. Don't think he'll be going for the green for there somehow.
Yeah, there's no point, is there? We go back now to Montgomery on the 18th tee. He has to do something very spectacular. Yes. He needs an eagle desperately. See the curve on the ball, which carries it onto the fairway, but leaves him quite a way to go. But he has to go for it.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see whether Monty thinks that's the right idea, because he hit his tee shot from left to right. Wasn't really possible for him to cut the corner. Now this is for Norman's eagle. Uphill and from Left to right and fairly slow.
There'll be a roar if it goes in. Slides by. No more than 3 feet though. And Ernie Els, who does tap in. Shot of Norman's we've recorded a few moments ago. The good ovation for the two players.
Els getting off to a slow start, bogeying the first 2 holes and never really got any momentum going in his round today. 71 and 14 under for the tournament. Norman for a closing birdie.
Solid as you like, he gets his birdie. It's been another good week for Greg Norman, 15 under and runner-up last year. And perhaps he's going to finish in 3rd place this year. Or it could even be down, of course, as low as 6, depending on... Oh yes, that's Wayne Riley, Michael Campbell, Nick Price, all on the 16 under par mark. Greg Norman then 15 under. So Greg Norman currently in 6th spot. And only 2 men left on the course.
Yes, well, Montgomery's at 16 under par is currently in 2nd place, tied with 4 others. I don't think he can catch up Fred Couples unless Couples plays a visit to the drink, and I think he's had too much experience for that.
What a wonderful position to be in. 3 shots clear of the rest of the field, just on the edge of the fairway. You can lay up nicely short of the lake, pop it over. Doesn't matter if you take 5, probably you're still going to win the tournament, and £75,000 to boost the bank balance. The important thing is the title.
Yes, Colin is taking an iron out. He's decided that he can't make the carry. Some 235 yards, it'd be right on his limit. But just nudging it into position. Wasn't that lovely, that ball taking off into the blue sky? That's left him just a perfect distance for his full 60-degree wedge.
And I have to say, we've seen nothing but blue sky in Dubai. The players will be jetting off in a few hours on this tour off to Manila, off to the Philippines. Couples will surely be laying up as well. What a wonderful position, both for the ball and for Couples himself. I don't think we're going to have a playoff here somehow, Ken.
No, we'd got to hope that Fred hasn't found a divot. You never know. Sometimes when you lay up, particularly when a lot of players have been laying up in the same position, you can sometimes trundle into someone else's divot.
Well, he looks a very relaxed man, and why not? Freddie Couples, who started the day as joint leader with Colin Montgomery on 14 under par, and he's looked relaxed all day. This was his 2nd shot at the 9th today. He'd found a perfect spot down the fairway. Fired this one in over the corner of the lake. Straight to the middle of the green, and what a roar went up from that.
It's been a delightful day's golf for Freddie Couples. Faultless golf. This is 2nd to the 12th. Coming in from left to right. Another rapier-like iron shot, almost going into the hole, and that set himself up for another birdie.
Remember last year, Freddie Couples got off to a great start in 1994 with 2nd place in the Johnny Walker Classic in Phuket in Thailand. He had back trouble, and he still has physiotherapy twice a week. But it doesn't look to have troubled him too much in the sun in Dubai, does it?
Well, we all know what a bit of sun does on your back. It loosens it up. Settled on the club, settled on the yardage. Just a little three-quarter sandwich. Asking it to bite. Bite it has. What a wonderful finishing stroke from the 1995 Dubai Desert Classic winner.
You've named him, and you are dead right, Ken. Fred Couples is the dead stone certain winner now here in Dubai for the first time. The tournament in which he failed to make the cut last year. How rich is man's fortune. How your fortunes can change. This man can reflect on that, the leader after the halfway stage. He's looking for a good finish now to consolidate his position. That was his third here to the 18th, just spun away from the hole. But if Montgomery holds the putt, he will go clear second.
Yes, there's still a lot to play for. Of course, Ryder Cup points, a lot of things at stake, always in order of merits and qualifying for certain different events.
Well, those 6 stars all played on Tuesday, but this is the man of the moment. What a wonderful way to start 1995. Fred Couples at the peak of his career. And a big hand for Colin Montgomery, who has thrilled the crowds this week with the consistency of his golf. And I'm sure we're going to see plenty of those two during the Ryder Cup later this year.
It's wonderful golf from Montgomery, 68, 63, 71. And currently 2 under par for his round today. So he's got this for 17 under and outright second place. And if there is an easy putt on this green, in this situation, it's this one. Almost straight up the hill and just a little bit from the right.
What pleasant reading. 19 under Couples, and if his putt does go in, he'll match Ernie Els' winning score of last year. Is it coming back enough? It is. What a sweet way to finish. A beautiful way to finish the week. Colin Montgomery, a smile on his face, arms aloft, 69, out in 34, back in 35. He's had his problems, but those 4 birdies have helped him along the way. Just the 1 drop shot today. Another excellent week's work for Colin Montgomery. He really is the best in Europe.
It was a wonderful putt. And it's just a bit of a guesstimate, but I reckon that putt was probably worth £20,000.
So it'd be nice to sign off in the traditional manner by holing out. And it's a birdie finish Fred Couples is the first American ever to win the Dubai Desert Classic, and that's what they think of Freddie in Dubai. The US Masters champion of 1992 follows Mark James, an Englishman, Eamon Darcy, an Irishman, Seve Ballesteros, a Spaniard, Wayne Westner and Ernie Els from South Africa in becoming the 1995 Dubai Desert Classic champion. Well, a wonderful way to start any year for Freddie Couples, who's a winner last year at the Buick Open and took the individual honours in the World Cup, as well as winning in Puerto Rico for a third year in succession with Davis Love. 20 under par to match Ernie Els' score here last year. Colin Montgomery at 17 under from Scotland deservedly takes second place. Michael Campbell, what a week for him, the young New Zealander. Wayne Riley from Australia had that dramatic finish to his round. 5 birdies on the back 9. He and Nick Price from Zimbabwe, the world #1 on 16 under. Australia's Greg Norman, runner-up last year, has to be content with 6th spot this time on 15 under. Ernie Els, unable to do what he did here last year and win the tournament, but still give a good account of himself. 6 behind the winner, Fred Couples. Wayne Westner, also from South Africa, and the young Irishman, Raymond Burns, 21 years of age and playing in his first Volvo Tour event as a professional, 13 under. Continuing down the leaderboard, another young South African. How well they've done here this week. Retief Goosen, 13 under. Tied at 11 under, Samson Gimson from Singapore. Constantina Rocca, Ryder Cup hopeful from Italy, 11 under. Howard Clark. Ken Brown, I think good signs there of a Howard Clark renaissance.
Yes, he had a very good season last year, and I watched him on the practice ground and seen him play a lot of wonderful shots this week, so I think he's definitely going to be in the hunt for a Ryder Cup spot. I hope so.
All these players broke par. Stephen Richardson, another young Ryder Cup hopeful. Alexander Chaker from Germany. Stuart Cage in his first tournament as a professional from Leeds, 9 under par. Paul McGinley from Ireland, 8 under. Well played, the Irish have done themselves proud this week. Steve Tinning, David Guilford, consistency itself. Andrew Sherborne, Paul Eels and Jarmo Sandelin from Sweden, all on the 7 under par mark. So many good young Scandinavians. Joachim Hegman, who's the first Swede ever to play in the Ryder Cup. Sven Struve from Germany, 7 under. Another Irishman, Philip Walton. Wales's Mark Mouland. American Jay Townsend. On the 5 and 4 under par mark as we move down the list, Craig Cassells from Newcastle. Peter Baker, Ryder Cup man, he was brilliant of course in his Ryder Cup debut. Carl Mason, who really came good last year with 2 victories on the tour, and another old timer there, Gavin Levinson.
Mark Rowe there at 3 under. Quite what he's up to, been doing a lot of fitness work this winter, so he's hoping to come out charging. Larry Lane, he's trying to get back in that Ryder Cup team. Oak Hills. Gordon J. Brand, another consistent week. The standard of play, as you can see, quite incredible. 53rd place, 1 under par, and it's a tough course.
1 under was the cut mark after 2 rounds. Such consistent golf from the world's top performers. Scott Watson also 1 under par, another new youngster on the tour. Jeff Hawkes from South Africa, Richard Boxall and Matt Lana. The 3 players to end the week absolutely level, which was not bad going, was it? And finally, our final page for you there, Hedblom, the week of his birthday. Paul Berg, 4 over, David Williams, Christian Sever, but has to be done. You have to check the card, just make sure everything's absolutely right. He knows he's a winner though.
Yes, you've got to make sure every score is right for each hole. And there's 2 signatures. Usually the rules official there goes through it and they check it with their caddy, because if you don't get that right, you end up getting disqualified.
But disappointment again for Colin Montgomery, who's had so many second places throughout his career. Really must have been hoping to land the top prize here, but as we said earlier, he is going to win again this year. There's nothing more certain than that.
Well, we believe this to be his score, and pretty flawless it was. 3 birdies on the front, 9 for 32, then birdies at 12, 13 and 18 to be home in 34, and round in a very, very tidy 6 under par 66.
He foretold that yesterday to the press. He said a 65 or a 66 would win the tournament. Well, he was hoping he would be the man to do that, and he was. Looked in total control of his game all the day today. Able to put the pressure on Colin Montgomery as his playing partner, perhaps a little.
Yes, Colin didn't quite get off to the start that he would have liked, and it's a sort of course and tournament where you've really got to get some momentum. We saw Montgomery have that wonderful 63 on the second day, 10 birdies and no bogeys. So it was there to be done, but he just didn't quite get off to that rip-roaring start that he would have liked.
There is no question, though, that it's a popular tournament. £75,000 has been won by Fred Couples, and Colin Montgomery picks up £50,000. Now, Michael Campbell, Wayne Riley and Nick Price were all tied for third. Greg Norman finishing down in 6th spot, so over £15,000 for him again this week. Ernie Els, £13,500 is 7th. £450,000 prize money here at the Emirates Golf Club, and in its 6th year this has really established itself as one of the most popular tournaments on the Volvo PGA Tour. So the crowd now awaiting the presentation to Fred Couples by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, well known of course throughout the world for his love of horse racing, but also of golf. It was his dream, was this golf course, and what a tremendous tribute that they've produced such a wonderful masterpiece in such a short time. And these shots just show you what a masterpiece it is.
Yes, it really is a beautifully designed course by Carl Litton. Had to move very little earth to create it. It was all fairly natural, and those sort of courses always look the best. The Sunningdales and the Royal Melbournes, and of course the most natural ones of all, the links courses of Great Britain, the St Andrews and the Muirfields.
Well, the dignitaries have enjoyed their sport today. The Sheikhs turning out in force to support the tour, and a tour that now takes in the most exotic places. And you think it's away to the Philippines next week, to Manila. Comes back to more traditional soil in Spain and Portugal and Morocco, in fact, one of the up-and-coming events in the next few weeks.
Yeah, their first tournament in Europe, of course, or in Britain, will be down at St Mellions for the Benson and Hedges International. And a whole feast of golf running right the way through to the Volvo Masters at Valderrama on the 26th of November, and something we'll all be looking forward to, of course, is the Ryder Cup at Oak Hills.
Very much so, and of course the next time it comes to Europe it will be played in Spain.
It's at the very place of Valderrama, and a super course that is, and Oak Hills is also a wonderful golf course.
Well, there are some wonderful golfers around the world at the moment, and Freddie Couples has proved that the Americans are still outstanding in this sport. He is the first American, though, to win the Dubai Desert Classic. I remember when this course was open, Howard Clark was one of those who came out to strike the first shot on the course, along with Sam Torrance, I believe, and he went home to say what a wonderful feat of engineering it was.
Yes, just to keep it green is the most amazing thing. 1 million gallons of water a day, 800 sprinklers, 60 of these drippers. To think that everything out on the course is watered is quite incredible. They've got this magnificent computerized watering system which judges exactly how much water almost each plant needs.
So everybody will be looking now to see the effects of this tournament on the players' standings. At just 2¼ hours into the Dubai Desert Classic, we had the most dramatic event. It came on the 7th tee. Well, how often does this happen on the first day of a season? Very, very rarely, I would suggest. But Wayne Westner produced the perfect tee shot, and we were off and running. And it just got better and better and better almost every minute since.
And it's been a good week for Westner. Of course, he finished 13 under par for the tournament in joint 8th position.
And he is a man who knows how to win here at Dubai, and Freddie Couples will always be able to say that now. No matter what happens in the future for him, he can say, I won in Dubai.
Yes, it's a nice way to start the season, to come and play on such a beautiful golf course. And not only do that, play well and win.
All set for the presentation here at the side of the 18th green, all part of the tradition of golf. And there is the trophy. What a magnificent piece of silverware that is. It's going to take some lifting.
It's beautiful, absolutely solid silver. And I think it's a type of teapot.
Very expensive coffee pot, actually, Ken. I always was a coffee man and not tea, but that really is resplendent there on the green baize, and the recipient will be Fred Couples, and thoroughly deserving it. At the age of 35, you have to say he is at the peak of his form, and we can hear from the champion Fred Couples talking now with Peter Oosterhuis.
Freddie, brilliant playing. We're getting ready for a pretty grand presentation here with some of the ruling family, the Maktoum family, but for the Golf Channel, brilliantly played, 66 today. What was the turning point? When did you know you had it going in the right direction?
Actually, right out of the box on the first hole, I drove it in the rough and hit a flyer over the green and had a difficult little pitch, and I made about an 8-footer for par, and then birdied the next two, and that really was a big putt. Gave me a lot of confidence. Anytime you start out Sunday with a bogey, you feel like you're losing it, and that was probably a good turning point. And then birding 9 and 12, which are probably two of the hardest holes, definitely, you know, can give you a nice boost of confidence.
Well, you carried on demolishing the par 5s. I think you were something like 15 under par, maybe 14 under par for the 16 par 5s this week. It was a tremendous performance, especially on par 5s.
Yeah, it was. You know, they all fit in fairly well to my game. You know, 18 I went for yesterday, laid up a couple times and made birdie, but overall, par 5s, if I drive it like I drive it, and Colin gave me a nice compliment, and he is right, when I can drive it like that, I should play well, and I did this whole week. You know, I missed fairways, but I didn't hit any that I stood up the next time and thought, okay, what did I do? You know, I mean, I'm going to miss them a little bit to the right and left, but overall, I smashed drives all day long, and on the par 5s, it gave me irons to the greens and to make birdies.
And the putting maybe wasn't quite as sharp as you wanted the second and third round, or maybe even the beginning of the first round. You started so well and they didn't really capitalize on that, but looked pretty smooth today. Some nice smooth strokes.
Yeah, no, and again, the very first putt had a lot to do with that. The greens are good, my stroke's good. A lot of times it's not, but today, you know, I didn't miss any, and when I did lag them up there, I had a little cushion, you know, last 4 or 5 holes, and I wasn't trying to do too many crazy things, and it's a nice feeling. Hopefully, you know, this will be a big year. I've been practicing so far the 2 tournaments I've played, and then I'm going to take 3 weeks off and go down and see my teacher and really work hard, and I'd like to continue to play, you know, like I can. People think, you know, 1992, but I may never play like that, but I know I can play well enough to win tournaments, and I think I've shown that.
Well, we all know you love Riviera Country Club, where the US PGA Championship is going to be held. How about Shinnecock Hills for the US Open?
I've never set foot there, so that'll be a big week. And again, you know, driving is the key to any US Open. I know that, you know, for me to win a tournament like that would be not a fluke, but I'd need to do everything right. But as far as Riviera, the Masters, you know, those are big tournaments where I know I can play well, and hopefully I'll get my game toned in for those two especially.
He came and he conquered. Freddie Couples last year, he came and he didn't make the cut. Such can be the swing in fortune, and And what a great player he is, and saying there he's going back to his teacher. Well, you have to pay attention to everything, and Fred Couples, even though he's won today, know that it won't always be as good as that. There they are, the first 5 players. Fred Couples the winner, Colin Montgomery second. Now we join the speakers.
Classic. At the conclusion of a memorable week of world-class golf, it is my pleasure to call upon the Vice Chairman of the tournament's sponsor, Dubai Aluminium Company, Mohammed Alabar.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللواء سمو الشيخ أحمد بن راشد آل مكتوم، قائد المنطقة العسكرية الوسطى، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، ضيوفنا الكرام، يطيب لي بهذه المناسبة السعيدة أن أتقدم بشكري الخاص لسمو الشيخ حمدان بن راشد آل مكتوم، وزير المالية والصناعة، رئيس مجلس إدارة شركة ألومنيوم دبي المحدودة، لرعايته المستمرة وتشجيعه المستمر لمباريات الجولف ديزرت كلاسيك. الحضور الكرام، استطاعت مباريات الديزرت كلاسيك هذا العام استقطاب أفضل نجوم العالم للجولف بشكل لم يسبق له مثيل، ولأول مرة تم بث المباريات ولمدة 4 أيام متتالية على الهواء مباشرة لجميع أنحاء العالم. بذلك استطاعت مدينة دبي ودولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة دخول مئات الملايين من المنازل في جميع أنحاء العالم عبر شاشات التلفزيون. وكذلك وبكل سرور ولأول مرة فاز فريق مواطني الدولة في مباريات الهواة والمحترفين التي جرت قبل بداية مباريات ديزرت كلاسيك. وفي الختام أتقدم بشكري الجزيل لجميع اللاعبين المشاركين والحاضرين وكل من ساهم في رعاية هذه المباريات، كذلك شكري لكل من ساهم في المسابقة الخيرية لصالح الأطفال المعوقين، متمنين لقاءكم مجددا في العام القادم مع مزيد من الإثارة والتحدي، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Your Highness, Major Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Your Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Deputy Ruler, Minister of Finance and Industry, and Chairman of Dubai Aluminium Company, for his continuous support and sponsorship for Dubai Desert Classic. Ladies and gentlemen, what a classic this has been. From the start, when the national team won the Pro-Am, to Wayne Wisner winning the hole-in-one on the 7th, to the powerful leaderboard listing Montgomery, Couple, Norman, Els, Price, and showing that they have come to Dubai to win. This year we were able to bring the city of Dubai and the UAE into the homes of millions around the world through TV screens due to live broadcast of the event. Beyond any doubt, to us the Dubai Desert Classic have always been a challenge of standard and quality. We promise you that we'll always try to do better. And for that, I would like to thank many people. I would like to thank everyone who have supported us, directly or indirectly, and everyone who have participated with us. But especially I would like to thank the players, the spectators. I would like to thank the promoters, the organizers, the media of course, the volunteers, Emirates Golf Club, and I would like to thank everyone who have participated in our charity pot. No doubt, at the end, I would like to congratulate not only a close friend of mine, but I would like to congratulate someone who came here, not only to surprise us, but also to please us. I would like to congratulate a good friend, Fred Couples. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohammed, for your remarks, which I'm sure are appreciated by everyone who has contributed to this wonderful event. I would now like to ask Mike Stewart, the tournament director of the European PGA Tour, to announce the results, and His Highness to present the checks and trophies.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to announce the results of this year's Dubai Desert Classic. We had 3 players tied in 3rd place on a score of 272, that's 16 under par. They each win a cheque for £23,243. First of all, I'd like to call upon, from New Zealand, Michael Campbell. And from Australia, Wayne Riley. And from Zimbabwe, the current US PGA champion and British Open champion, Nick Price. And with rounds of 68, 63, 71 and 69 for a 17 under par total of 271, winning a cheque for £50,000. Europe's #1 golfer in 1994. From Scotland, Colin Montgomery. With rounds of 65, 69, 68 and 66 for a total of 268, that's 20 under par, winning a cheque for £75,000. The Dubai Desert Classic champion for 1995 from the United States, Fred Couples.
Thank you very much. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Mr. Captain, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 4 or 5 players up here, I'd first like to just thank everybody and to let these people know that this is one of the finest tournaments I've ever played in. Last year I came. Nick Price and I were driving down today, and I was telling about last year when I missed the cut and had a good time, and I couldn't figure out why. I never have a good time when you miss the cut, but I came back this year, not with a mission, but just to come play well, and to beat this kind of a field means a lot to me. Last year to this year, there's a lot more support for Colin and I and Nick and Greg, Mr. Campbell for making eagle here. I'd like to congratulate them all, but again, it was a great. It's been a great week for me, and I can't wait to come back next year. Thank you very much.
So Fred Couples, a popular and a worthy champion, and saying all the right things, Kim Brown.
Yes, heartiest congratulations must go to Fred Couples. Well done to Colin Montgomery, just not quite enough. What an exciting week's golf it has been.
It's been a brilliant week. It started with Norman 64, Montgomery 63 on the second day. Colin Montgomery second 7 times in 92 and 93. Found the winning habit 3 times last year, but he's had to play second fiddle to Fred Couples this year here at Dubai. Couples then 65, 69, 68 and 66. Superb effort from the former US Masters champion. Fred Couples is the winner of the Dubai Desert Classic.